Hello, this is Penny Golland from Polyglot Institute, the Sultanate of Oman. And I'd like to introduce you to our Introduction to Email Writing Business English. I'll be sharing the screen. Our email writing course, Lesson 1. The class starts with an introduction on the course, briefly explaining the main points to be covered and assessing the students. Components of an email, starting and closing, types of email, paragraphs, reference, attachments, good and bad news, closing a message, grammar. Lesson 1 focuses on the components of an email and what the function is of each of the commands. Here's a typical email. 2, the name of the person or the email address you want to send an email to. CC, the name or email address of another person you want to send a copy to. BCC, to send a blind copy of the email to someone, usually used to send emails to the manager or the boss of the company. Subject, the title of the email, to explain what the email is about in a few words. Attached, any document or files you want to send with the email, images or audio files. Signature, your information and details that are put at the end of the email. We move on to starting an email. The teacher explains the right term to be used to start a message in terms of referring to the recipients. Here are some examples. Dear Sir refers to someone you do not know. Dear Madam refers to a woman you do not know. Dear Sir or Madam, when writing to a company but you do not know who is receiving the email. Dear Job Title, when writing to a company but you do not know the name of the person you are writing to, only the job title, e.g. Corporate Manager, Executive Manager. Dear Mr. Family Name, refers to a man who is either married or unmarried. Dear Miss, Dear Ms, family name, refers to a woman you don't know whether she is married or not. Dear Mrs, family name, refers to a woman you know that is married. Dear Miss, family name, refers to a woman you know that is not married. Dear first name, refers to someone you are friends with and close to. Note this. When writing a professional email, avoid using first names unless you are emailing a close friend. Do not use Dear Mr. Jack, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Richard, Mr. Mark. Only use a surname. Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Brown. When emailing a woman, use Ms till finding out whether she is married or not. Finally, closing an email. Closing an email in professional writing usually depends on how you start the email. Dear Sir or Madam, best closing statement is yours faithfully. Dear Ms, Mrs, Miss or Mr. Best closing statement is either yours sincerely or best regards. Dear first name, best closing statement is either kind regards or best regards. And you'll now do this exercise yourself. Choose the best closing statements for each of these emails. Dear Miss Evans, dear Oliver, dear Sir, dear Mr. Smith, dear Mrs. Jones. Types of emails. There are different types of emails, especially in business, and the format, language and words used in each email may vary depending on the reasons behind typing the email. Here are some examples of types of emails. Pay attention to unfamiliar words. Job application. When you're looking for a job online and find a suitable organisation that has a position you're interested in, you'd write an email to that company to apply for the position. And it is essential to make an impactful first impression to score a reply from the company. Example, subject, job application for the Health and Safety Department. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing in connection with the job advertisement that is advertised on LinkedIn. I wish to apply for the Health and Safety Engineer position in your company. I've attached my CV and reference letter for your consideration. Yours faithfully, Oliver Smith. Note, when writing to a company, use Sir or Madam for the recipient unless you know the name of the person you're writing to. Use the term in connection with to reference the reason behind writing the email. Do not use command language and substitute it with I wish, I would like to. Finish the email with yours faithfully, first name and surname. Next, meetings. Requesting an email has to be formal in order to make the points and the reasons behind the meeting clear. Also, the language in meeting emails depends on who the email is sent to, whether it is for the employees in the company or a meeting request with another company. Example, meeting request for the project progress. Dear Mr. Johns, I'm writing to request a meeting with you in order to discuss the following: the progress in construction, the costs of the new order, the changes in the schedule and the timetable. Kindly inform me your available timings and dates. Best regards, James Wilson. Note the greeting and the salutation. Note, use Mr. or Ms. when writing to someone you're not close with. Use terms like request to ask for the meeting, to make it formal. List the topics to be discussed in the meeting in order to give the recipient a chance to prepare for the meeting. Finish the email with best regards, first name and surname. Enquiry emails. Enquiry emails are used to ask for information on a certain subject, product or a service. Depending on the recipient of the email, the terms can change. So, subject, enquiry of service. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing in connection with your advertisement in the new paper. I'd like to get information about the working hours of your office, and I'd be very grateful if you could send me information about your services. Yours faithfully, James Williams. When writing an inquiry email, use referencing language such as I'm writing in connection with in order to reach your point of inquiry. State your requirements with formal language and avoid commands. I would like, I would be grateful, and much better. End the email with your first name and surname. Exercise. Choose a proper subject for the emails below. Meeting, job application, product inquiry, complaint. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you match those 4 phrases and the 4 boxes? Let's try the first one. Drop in quality, shipments reply, drop in your service. Sounds like a complaint to me. Complaint. There are several points to be considered when writing a complaint email. One of the main points is how to keep it as professional as possible without using any sort of a language that would disrespect the recipient. Subject, complaint on quality of product. Dear Mr. Smith, we have received your shipment and it seems that some of the product has been damaged in the transportation process. My manager is considering changing the supplier since this is the third time we encountered this issue. I look forward to hear from you. If you have any suggestions or any compensation plans, please inform me. Best regards, Mary Brown. In complaint emails, the language and terms used are usually indicating the seriousness of the issue. Explain the complaint or the issue in the best possible way in order to provide the recipient with a clear understanding of the issue. You can also mention the outcome of this issue on you or your next plan of action in order to ensure how serious the issue is to the recipient. At the end of the email, explain what you expect from the recipient to solve the issue as a plan of compensation. Thank you. Writing an email to thank someone is very straightforward, but instead of only sending thank you in one email, you can add some sentences that reflect on the appreciation. Subject, thank you. Dear Mrs. Baker, thank you very much for providing our employees a chance to attend the course. It has helped them tremendously and gave them new skill sets that will definitely enhance their performance. Once again, I thank you on behalf of our employees. I look forward to do business with the Institute in the future and hope that we keep in touch. Yours sincerely, Adam Klein. Note, after thanking the recipient for their help, explain the effect of their help on you or your company. Mention your intentions and desires of working with them again in the future. Formal and informal language in emails. The language and terminology used in professional emails can be different from normal English. The reason behind using different terms is mainly to leave a good impression on the recipients. The following table will show some terms that could be substituted in a formal email. Need, require. Get, receive. Get in touch, contact. Ask, request. Fix, repair. Booking, reservation. Promise, assure. Tell, inform. Note, keep in mind not to overuse such terms in one single email, otherwise the writing would become unconnected and pretentious. It is recommended to avoid using contractions in formal emails, such as I'm, he's, there, don't, and rather use the full word, I am, he is, they are, do not. Shortcuts are also recommended to be avoided in formal emails, such as ads, info, you, okay, and write the full word, advertisement, information, you, okay. Replace the word can with could when possible. Make sure not to use slang words and avoid using emojis. An exercise now. Change the following sentences from informal to formal. Use some words from the table above. 6 examples for you to complete. Basic rules to consider. There are some rules or steps that can be used in order to help writing an email the least amount of errors. Always start the email with dear, followed by the name of the recipient and close the email with "Yours faithfully, best regards," followed by your name. This will ensure that the recipient understands that the email has been sent specifically to them by you and isn't meant for anyone else. Don't type words fully with capital letters, because in typing language, words with capital letters indicate shouting and anger. When replying to an email, avoid copying the original email you are replying to and mention that you are writing in response to their email, unless there is a need to copy the original email for errors or to indicate a point in it. Make sure that your email is divided into several paragraphs if needed, rather than one long paragraph. Long paragraphs tend to make the reader lose focus and get confused. After writing your email, always make sure to check every word for errors, spelling mistakes, and grammar mistakes. Any mistake in the email could leave a bad impression of you on the recipient. Starting a paragraph in an email. There are different ways to being a paragraph in an email, and here are some examples. I'm writing to inquire about. I'm interested in and would like to know about. I'm writing in connection with and would like to inquire about. I am writing in reference with. Replying to an email. Thank you for your email asking about if. We have received your email inquiring about. Thank you for your email asking if about. Email paragraphs. The main points to consider is to divide the paragraphs, even if a paragraph is one sentence only. The important part is to keep the point clear and not to be overshadowed by whatever is written in the email. Example. Subject, English courses. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to inquire about your English courses in London's branch. I've seen your advertisement online and found the price range per person is reasonable. I run a gym business and some of my employees are expats and need to improve their English. Therefore, I would like to inquire about different price range and discounts for more than 20 employees. I look forward to hear from you and hope to reach to a contract that would satisfy both parts. Regards, Harry Smith. Notice how the first paragraph mentions the topic of the email. Second paragraph shows the reason behind emailing them. The next two paragraphs discuss the wishes and requirements. Lastly, a closing statement with the name. Referring. There are different ways to reference a subject in an email, and the following are some examples. I'm writing in reference to your email about our product. In terms of your email last Friday. I'm writing in connection to your email about our product. Exercise. Reply to these emails using referring as a start. 5 examples for you to complete. Attachments. Attachments are extremely handy in emails. You can add many files with different formats to the email, whether it is your CV, a document, pictures, or even voice notes. Here are some examples of how to start a sentence to mention the attachment of your email. Please find attached my CV information below, and I look forward to hearing your feedback or comments. I'm attaching my CV information to this email, and please do contact me if you would like to inquire more information. In case of the recipient having a problem opening the attachment folder due to an error or any other issue, it's best to add the following statement in the email. If you have a problem with opening the attachment, kindly inform me. In case you've received an attachment and faced an issue with opening it, here are some examples of how you can respond to the recipient. Thank you for your email. However, I'm afraid that you forgot to attach the CV information. Kindly send it again, please. Thank you for your email. Unfortunately, the attachment will not open on my computer. Kindly send it again in a different format.